Danis spent the night on the snowy ground. Before sunrise, he decided to climb to the peak to seek help. However, as soon as he got up, a sharp pain shot through his right leg. Danis quickly pulled up his pant leg and discovered that his calf had been injured at some point, and the blood had dyed his sock completely red. Even worse, his entire right leg was severely frostbitten, turning a dark purple color. Gritting his teeth through the pain, Danis slowly slid his hand into his sock to assess the extent of his injury. But as soon as he applied some force, the skin peeled off along with the sock, causing excruciating pain that made him scream uncontrollably. It took a long while for him to regain his composure. Danis then carefully removed the skin from his sock, and after some internal struggle, decided to eat it to stave off hunger. However, when the flesh reached his mouth, he couldn't bring himself to swallow it. After all, it takes immense courage to eat one's own flesh. Despite several attempts, Danis couldn't overcome the mental barrier. He ended up putting the skin in his pocket, deciding to eat it when he had no other choice. After a brief rest, Danis forced his weakened body to stand and limp towards the mountaintop, keeping his eyes closed the entire time. It took him a whole morning to reach the foot of the mountain. When Danis looked up, expecting to see the house, he discovered that there was no house at the peak. He quickly rubbed his eyes, trying to reassure himself. But when Danis opened his eyes again, the mountaintop remained empty. It dawned on him that the house he saw that night was merely a hallucination caused by the extreme cold. This huge disappointment, from hope to despair, was too much for Danis to bear. He angrily cursed at the mountaintop and began pounding the ground hysterically. After venting his emotions, Danis gradually calmed down. He thought that even though there was no house on the peak, he might still find a signal. To survive, he had to keep climbing. So he picked up his snowboard and continued towards the summit. However, the higher he climbed, the thicker the snow became. Coupled with the intense pain in his right leg, every step was incredibly difficult. Meanwhile, his mother was also very anxious. 7 days after her son's disappearance, she finally decided to call the police. The search and rescue team immediately dispatched a helicopter to search for him. At this point, Danis had just entered a dense forest, and the helicopter couldn't spot him from above. Realizing that this might be his only chance to escape, Danis summoned an incredible burst of strength and used his snowboard to quickly climb out of the forest. But he still missed the rescuers by a hair's breadth. Watching the helicopter fade into the distance, an overwhelming sense of hopelessness washed over him. At that moment, all of Danis's beliefs were utterly shattered. He closed his eyes, ready to quietly await the arrival of the Grim Reaper.